This is almost a comical situation on a daily basis in the gold market. Big downswings in New York, big upswings in Asia. Right now, you got gold up $3.10. I mean, it happens every day, Bob. I wake up.
Well, the first and second fixings in London, well, especially the first, are usually very firm. And I just wrote about that for tomorrow's issue in regard to today's market. And a good example, you get an hour or two into the COMEX futures trading, and in comes J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Citicorp, HSBC, and they attack.
Yeah.
And it happens every day. But I can imagine how short they are. It's going to be very interesting to see how they extricate themselves.
Well, I guess, I mean, the constant spin from CNBC is that we've turned a corner because obviously the dollar is rallying. But now, what is the cause for the dollar rallying outside of, obviously, this is the last week before Christmas. They want to get everybody in a good mood to spend before Thursday. But is this dollar rally is more of a case of the dollar being the best of the worst fiat currencies in the world?
And it went from 74 to 78, and it's going to run out of gas.
Do you have a time frame on running out of gas? Is it this week or next
Well,
week?
you know, I look at it this way. If it had been a methodical move over a period of 2 or 3 months, it might stick. But when you see the U.S. government behind the scenes running it up, along with other central banks, you say to yourself, how much power do they have left? That's a $4.3 trillion a day market. And $2.5 trillion of that is traded in dollars. I mean, how much money do they have to rig it? And they're doing it on low volume because it's a holiday season.
Yeah, and if we look back, the dollar rally effectively started when we got third quarter GDP figures of 2.8%, which everybody hailed as a great improvement over obviously the dismal second quarter GDP. But today they revised that 2.8 to 2.2.
It's just more lies. They started with 3.5.
Yes.
Went to 2.8, then 2.2. They're massaging the public.
And guess what's going to happen next month with the jobs report? It's going
to be dreadful. And February's going to be worse.
It's going to show a boost in jobs because the government is as we speak is hiring 1.5 million people to take the census, and they are going to be counted as new jobs.
Oh, I forgot about that. But February, the birth-death model has to be adjusted, and they're talking in terms of 800,000.
Yeah, but
and that's half of what it is. It runs around 125,000 a month.
Yeah, well, you know they're going to fudge the numbers with the.
That's by 50%.
The census.
Well, and Robbie, between now and that jobs report. Are we going to lose 1.5 million?
I don't know. But if anybody out there is looking for a job, contact your nearest census bureau. They are hiring.
And they'll give you a little GPS unit. When you show up at somebody's door, you get to mark it. Yep. Be a good little soldier for the government. And you're getting paid to boot.
I think they pay better than minimum wage.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that they do.
And Acorn lost the job.
Robert in Arizona. Hello, Robert.
Hello, how are you, gentlemen?
Hi.
It's a pleasure to talk with you. Yeah, it was just a very interesting conversation. All I can say is just follow the fictitious money masters and you'll get the whole picture, right?
Yep.
Bob, I had a question for you. First of all, it's an honor to talk to you, all of you gentlemen, especially you, Bob. I've been listening to you and following you for a long time. The gold mining stocks, they've been really suppressing them. Where do you see them taking off? In what time frame?
Well, they're trying to tell you today that they really don't want to go down anymore. And the exercise was twofold. well, actually threefold. Number one, they wanted gold down because they wanted to run the dollar, keep the market up. They left the commodities alone. And they had a good opportunity to do that with the dollar because of the problems in Europe and Dubai. I know what the short positions are in the major brokerage firms, such as, which are now banks, J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs and Citi and so on. And Goldman alone is short over 10 million shares of one stock. And the others are short the same stock and some others as well, as is Goldman. Their short position is absolutely enormous. And the same thing is true in the COMEX futures market. The net short is triple the normal net short. And Robbie and I discussed this earlier. And I said, they got to cover someday. And when they cover, they got to buy back.
Right. Okay.
But that's what's suppressing the gold stocks.
Okay.
And it's the United States government. That's who's doing it.
But how long do you see them doing this? I mean, how much longer they can hold on? We're talking about billions and billions of dollars.
Well, you've got next week, and on the 29th, options expiration is over, and most of the options are out of the money already. I think they'd like to close it around 10:49 to make sure that nobody collects anything, because the government got bombed last month for billions, and they want to get it back. And they were expecting a correction, and they made it happen. We would have had one anyway, in about the same, length. I said $125, $150. And so how much is it down from the top, Robbie, right now?
Sorry, Bob, what was that?
How much is gold down from the top? I think it was 1224.
1224, yeah.
And we're looking at
Bob, we know where the bottom is. We know the bottom is 1050.
Yeah, 1086. So that's 14 and 24, 34, 38. It's $138 on the downside. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. But it makes for very, very good buys in the gold shares. And I think it makes for very, very good buys in bullion and graded numismatic coins as well.
All right. Well, I'm invested on some of the stocks that you mentioned. And Mike, the other question I have is this, Bob. Do you see this coinciding with because I know you had talked about June, where the dollar collapse is either going to start or is going to be halfway through it. And at that point, as the stocks start to go up, should I hold on to it to see what kind of new currency we fall into? Or do I sell out and take the currency that is going to be failing, and I take my 3-to-1 like you mentioned?
First of all, gold and shares will appreciate far, far more in anticipation of a devaluation or default. And any kind of money that you might lose by, let's say, selling your gold or your stock at a higher level, that is going to offset any losses you would have taken and then some in having the dollar. You want to hold and be long as you can.
Okay. And that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. I just, you hear a lot of other people say different things, but pretty much I've followed you, and you've been right on the money every single time. So I want to thank you. I appreciate you for taking my call, gentlemen.
Okay.
And have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Robert.